This video is going to be a lot more raw and a lot less polished than other films and other vlogs and other edits that I have made in the past. And this is everything that I have learned as I've traveled the world and gone to about 26 different countries in 5 different continents. So I guess I'll start with where I am right now, and at this very moment I am in Perth, Western Australia, a place that I was never expecting to visit, especially when I began my trip. And I think that'll segue into kind of the first thing that I want to talk about mainly, and that's, as I've traveled, I'd made sure that my schedule and my plans could also be very open and flexible. And I know a lot of people that when they travel, they want to meticulously plan out every single detail of their day, of their excursions, of their accommodation. But for someone like me, I love the unknown, I love scaring myself, I love doing things that make me extremely uncomfortable, because I've found that those are the moments and the memories that I tend to hold on to the most and care for the most as well. And so what I've done on this trip, my original plan and my original intention was to travel to Thailand for 1 month, Philippines for 2 weeks, and Indonesia for 1 month. And that has slowly turned into Thailand, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, Singapore, Philippines, Indonesia, and Australia. Now, if you're someone that's traveled at any point in your life to any country outside of home, or even to different parts of your own country, and gone a little bit uncomfortable or outside of your comfort zone, you know that it is impossible to travel with a closed mind. And that's what I find is absolutely brilliant about going to new locations, new places, and new cultures, is that you go in with an open mind and you are so well immersed to new experiences that can change you. Now, when you travel with an open mind and an even more open schedule, your options tend to open. And that's one thing that I've noticed on this trip, is that I did not plan too much out. In fact, when I left for Bangkok as my first stop, the only thing I had scheduled was my hostel for the next 3 nights. I had nothing booked after that, and it's really led to so many different opportunities. Now, Kuala Lumpur ended up being an incredible 3-day trip, one of my favorite trips of this whole big adventure. And now I'm in Australia for 5 days in Perth, and I'm really loving it here. It feels like a little slice of home, and that's one thing that I don't think I would have ever had if I didn't have those 2 things, an open mind and an open schedule. And that's certainly one of the biggest lessons I've learned, is that the experiences and the quality of the experiences that you can have will be so much better if you just let things happen the way they do and be open to different things and accepting that not everything has to be planned out, and that you can have an incredible adventure on the fly. Being able to book excursions, adventures, and trips like this does require a lot of faith, and it's those leaps that you take where you're rewarded with the absolute best results. So for example, Siargao, Philippines was my absolute favorite destination I visited on my entire trip. And when I was originally planning on doing the Philippines, I was planning on doing mostly Cebu and a little bit of Siargao, when instead at the last minute, the night before I booked my flight to Siargao, I ended up booking an entire 8-day trip there, which turned out to be one of the best decisions of my life. It's these experiences and this quality that you never get unless you really step out of your comfort zone and try new things. Now, when you're constantly traveling like this and hopping on flights and planes and adventures that go to destinations you never thought you'd end up doing, stepping outside of your comfort zone every single day and doing things that you might consider to be a little bit crazy, you tend to realize how much control over our own lives and destinies we actually have. And to me, that's been one of the most important lessons I've learned on this trip, that I can dream, I can think of something, a concept, a destination, a travel, excursion, or go anywhere I want in this life, as you tend to become a literal pilot of your own life. And that is something that I don't think I would have learned or understood to as deep of a degree if I stayed home or if I never ended up doing this in the first place. And that's really important to me. And once you come to that realization and you step out into the world and start going to all of these different places and seeing the world and its people for exactly what they are like, you tend to realize that the only barriers we have between us in most cases is usually language. And that from society to society, culture to culture, person to person, we are really not that different. you start to realize the bigger picture of things, and that part of the human experience and what really connects us together is not where we live, it's not the same hobbies, it's not even the same interests many times, but it's the fact that every person you will ever meet is in love with stories, in love with laughter, in love with love, and in love with connection. And that is something that we can all share together regardless of our background and our history. Every person that you come in contact with is looking for the same feeling and looking for the same joy that we can bring, and that's something that, unless you really get out there into the world, you tend not to find. And from traveling so much and going so far, you tend to realize how insignificant most of our problems are back home. The little petty arguments you have with your coworker, or the little argument you have with your parents, and these sort of things, they really don't mean much in the grand scheme of things. And to be anything other than appreciative for the time that we have and we are given and the life that we can lead is something that, unless you really get out and see things from a whole new perspective, you tend to never understand. And it takes a really dramatic and sometimes intense event or trip or person for you to realize that most times. And I'm really grateful for that right now at this point in my life. And one of the nicest things that you realize when you find out what things are insignificant, you really tend to appreciate the things that are, and the things that are significant, and the things that make the greatest impact on your life. And for me, what I've noticed on this trip has been the people and the places that begin to change me and alter my perspective and my view of reality. So for instance, the people that I meet in different circumstances that are so foreign to me, whether it's in the Philippines, in Thailand, Indonesia, Australia, or all these places, the people that can somehow lead an incredible life full of amazing stories that they're so open to share, that's something that I take a lot of inspiration with. Or sometimes I'll often think about those that have developed me into the person that I want to become, and that is oftentimes my closest friends and family back home, the ones that I spend the most time with, the ones that I really care for and love, and the people that I think of every single day as I miss them, but understand that this is the place that I have to be at this exact moment. And it's knowing these things and being able to determine what is significant and what is insignificant, and what really matters and what truly doesn't, is what I find makes travel the greatest teacher. This is the only thing that you can possibly learn by actively searching for new things, new experiences, and new opportunity, being open-minded to everything, and looking at life as a wide open field of chance, of opportunity, and of adventure. And to me, that's what the art of travel is. Traveling the world, to me, has taught me humility in new environments, to be vulnerable in the unknown, yet still alright with those decisions, and to look at life as an opportunity for so many new experiences, adventures, and possibilities, because we can really lead our own dreams and achieve so much, because we, regardless of what you may believe at this moment, have so much control over where we head and who we want to become. And for me, there has been nothing, and I mean nothing, that could have opened my eyes more to what this world has to offer than going out and seeing it for myself. So if you are looking for new opportunities to grow, to discover yourself, and to find new things in so many incredible places, then I encourage each and every person watching this video, go pack your bags, book that flight, find that place that you've always wanted to go, and make it happen. Because you are in full control of exactly where you end up and what you want to do and who you want to become. And this world is too great and too vast and so full of new things and new opportunities that to do anything other than to explore it would be an absolute waste of this incredible gift that we have, that is life. And so I know that this has been a little more raw and uncut than previous things that I've made, but this is truly how I feel, and I could not be more proud and content of the things that I have done and the things that I plan on doing and the things that I've learned and the people I've met along the way. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, leave a like or subscribe or do whatever you want to do. Thank you for just watching this and following along, and until the next time I see you, peace and goodbye.